Informational reading and writing across subjects. Informational reading. Reading comprehension is the act of understanding what you are reading. Reading comprehension is the ability to process information that we have read and to understand its meaning. This is a complex process where skills are built upon one another. It is an intentional, active, interactive process that occurs before, during, and after a person reads a particular piece of writing. Before reading, it is important to set a purpose for reading and activate prior knowledge related to the topic. This helps to create a mental framework that allows the reader to make connection and understand the text more effectively. During reading, the reader engages in a range of strategies to comprehend the text. These strategies may include predicting what will happen next, visualizing the events or concepts being described, questioning the text, and making inferences based on the information presented. After reading, the reader reflects on and evaluates the understanding of the text. This may involve summarizing the main ideas, identifying key details, and making connections to personal experience or other text. Reading comprehension is not just about understanding the literal meaning of the words on the page. It involves making sense of the text by integrating prior knowledge, making inference, and critically analyzing the content. It requires the reader to actively engage with the text, think deeply about the information presented, and draw conclusions based on evidence. To improve reading comprehension, it is important to practice and develop a range of strategies. These may include reviewing the text before reading, highlighting or taking notes, asking questions, summarizing, and discussing the text with others. When a person reads a text, he engages in a complex array of cognitive processes. Here, he is using his awareness and understanding of phonemes, individual sound pieces in language, phonics, connection between letters and sounds, and relationship between sounds, letters, and words, and the ability to comprehend or construct meaning from the text. In summary, reading is not just about recognizing words, but also about understanding their meaning and how they fit into the larger context of the text. Elements of the process of reading comprehension. There are two elements: vocabulary knowledge, text comprehension. Vocabulary knowledge. In order to get information about the new vocabulary they have to read, teacher should aid her in understanding unfamiliar words. Understanding the meaning of words is crucial for reading comprehension. Readers need to know the meaning of both familiar and unfamiliar words to make sense of the text. Teachers can support this by providing strategies for learning new vocabulary, such as context clues, word parts, and direct instruction. Text comprehension. Once readers understand the words, they need to piece together these words to grasp the overall meaning of the text. This involves integrating information, making inferences, and understanding the main ideas and details. Effective text comprehension requires readers to synthesize the information presented and relate it to their existing knowledge to construct a coherent understanding of the text. Levels of reading comprehension. Reading comprehension involves literal reading comprehension. It is the skill of getting the primary direct literal meaning of a word, idea, or sentence. There is no depth in this kind of reading. In elementary grade and high school, practice in literary comprehension dominates practice on the meaning getting skills. Involve techniques like fact questions. These questions ask for specific details directly mentioned in the text. For example, what is the name of the main character? true or false statement. These require readers to identify if a given statement is accurate according to the text. For example, the main character went to the park. True or false? Completion sentence. This involves filling in missing words or phrases in sentence based on information from the text. For example, the cat sat on the dash according to the story. Multiple choice exercise. These present a question with several answer options. The reader select the one that best matches the information in the text. For example, what color is the cat? Red, blue, black, green. By practicing these techniques, students develop the ability to retrieve and recognize information directly from the text, setting the stage for deeper comprehension skill such as inferential and evaluated reading. Interpretive or inferential reading comprehension. It is a reader's ability to extract ideas or information not directly stated in the textbook material using prior or background knowledge to assist in such understanding. It involves cluster of several different kinds of thinking skills such as making generalization, reading cause and effect, anticipating endings, making comparisons, sensing motives, discovery relationships. Based on the information given, John's mood seems to be one of anger or frustration. The action described, slamming the door, running upstairs, and throwing books on the floor, suggests that he is upset or agitated. This interpretation is derived from understanding the behavior and its typical emotional context, even though the text does not explicitly state his feelings. Critical reading comprehension. It is a reader's ability to respond with personal judgments and ideas about the content of the textbook material using his or her past knowledge and thoughts on the subject. It includes literal comprehension and interpretation, but it goes further than either on these in the reader evaluate passes personal judgment on the quality, the value, the accuracy and truthfulness of what is read. Literal comprehension. This is the ability to understand that the explicit meaning of the text such as facts and details. Interpretation. This involves inferring meanings that are not directly stated but implied through context, tone and subtext. Evaluation. This is a higher order skill where the reader assesses the content's quality, value, accuracy, and truthfulness. It requires the reader to use their prior knowledge and personal experiences to judge the information critically. Creative reading comprehension. It is reader's emotional response to the content of the textbook material read. This level of comprehension also includes creating new ideas from what was learned in school and life. Creating reading comprehension involves engaging with a text on an emotional level and using that emotional responses as a basis for generating new ideas or interpretations. This means that beyond understanding the basic content, readers are deeply affected by the material and use that emotional connection to think creatively and innovatively. For example, after reading a novel, a reader might not only understand the plot and characters but also create original stories or ideas inspired by the theme or emotional experience. This level of comprehension merges understanding with personal insight and creativity, allowing readers to transform their learning into new imaginative concepts. Strategies for teaching reading across the content area. Students should be taught to predict by examining features or reader aid. Teach students to look at title, heading, subheading, caption, and other text features before reading. These elements give clues about the content, helping students to make prediction about what they will learn, which can guide their reading and increases understanding. Next, monitor through meta comprehension. Encourage students to be aware of their understanding as they read. They should regularly ask themselves if they comprehend the material and identify when they don't. This self awareness helps them adjust their reading strategies or seek clarification as needed. Question when meaning is unclear. Teach students to ask questions when they encounter confusion or unclear parts of the text. These practices help them engage more deeply with the material and encourage active reading. Question might include what does this term mean or why is this information important? Construct images and mental pictures. Encourage students to create mental images based on the text. Visualization helps with comprehension by connecting new information with existing knowledge and making abstract concepts more concrete. Use look backs, read louds, and use look backs, rereads, and fix it strategies. Instruct students to revisit and reread sections of text that are difficult to unread. Look backs and rereads can clarify confusing parts and fix it. Strategies like summarizing or paraphrasing can help solidify understanding. Find main ideas, summarizes, and draw conclusion. Teach students to identify the main ideas and key details in a text, summarizing these ideas in their own words and drawing conclusions based on the information helps consolidate the understanding and make connections between concepts. Infer quickly, connecting ideas to known information and previous experiences. Infer quickly, pre reading activate prior knowledge by asking students to make predictions or relate the content to their own experiences. For example, before reading a history text, discuss what they know about the period or events. During reading, encourage students to make inferences based on clues from the text and their existing knowledge. This helps them engage with the material more deeply and fill in grasps in understanding. Evaluate story, grammar, structure. Pre-reading introduce a structure of the text, that is example, problem, solution, cause, effect, so students know what to look for. This can involve discussing the format of different types of text they might encounter. Example, essay, scientific reports. During reading, guide students to identify key elements of the text structures such as heading, subheading, and key arguments. This helps them understand how information is organized and how to extract important details. Next, synthesize all noticeable aspect of the text. Pre-reading shows students how to use reader aids like glossaries, indexes, and summarizers. This prepares them to use these tools effectively while reading. Potential uses. Pre-reading. Engage students by connecting new content to what they already know, making them more inclined to read. This can involve discussions, brainstorming session, or quick activities that relate to the upcoming next. During reading, implement strategies to monitor and enhance comprehension. This can include guided questions, note taking, or interactive activities that help students track their understanding and make adjustments as needed. After reading, this strategy involves activities or questions that students engage in once they have completed a reading assignment. Techniques include writing summaries, creating graphic organizers, or discussing key points with peers. This helps reinforce understanding and allows students to articulate what they have learned. Writing to learn. This approach uses writing tasks as a way to deepen students' understanding of the material. Examples include journaling about key concepts, writing responses to prompts, or creating essays that explore the material in depth. This method helps students process information actively and solidify their learning through written expression. Reflection. This can be done during or after reading by having students write reflective journals, participate in think, pair, share activities, or engage in self assessment. Reflection helps students connect new knowledge to their prior experiences and identify areas for improvement. Discussion. Through group discussion, Socratic seminars, or peer debates, students can explore different perspectives, clarify their thinking, and solidify their knowledge through verbal exchange. Vocabulary development. Techniques include pre-teaching key terms, using vocabulary maps, incorporating word walls, and engaging in activities like semantic mapping or context based learning. Developing a robust vocabulary helps students better grasp and retain the material. Reading strategies across the subjects. Reading science. Before reading strategies. Activate prior knowledge. Discuss what students already know about the topic to create connection. Preview text. Look at heading, subheading, and illustrations. During strategies. During reading strategies. Highlight key concepts. Identify and highlight important terms and concepts. Ask questions. Encourage students to ask questions about the material to deepen understanding. After reading strategies. Summarize information. Having students summarize what they have learned in their own words. Create diagram. Use concept map or diagram to organize and visualize the information. Next, reading social science, self-selected reading. Before reading strategies. Self-selected reading strategies. Choice. Allow students to choose their own reading materials to foster engagement. Then goal setting. Help students to set personal reading goals and track their progress. Guided reading. Small group instruction. Provide targeted support to small groups based on their readings levels. Focus. Read aloud. Read aloud strategies. Model influency. Demonstrate fluent reading to model pronunciation, intonation, and expression. Interactive reading. Engage students with questions and discussions during the read aloud. Reading mathematics. Equations, inequalities, and strategies. Visual aids. Use chart and visual aids to help explain abstract concepts. Step-by-step explanation. Break down complex equations and inequalities into smaller, manageable steps. Reflection strategies. Self-assessment. Encourage students to reflect on their problem-solving process and strategies used. Group reflection. Discuss solutions and strategies with peers to gain different perspectives. Problem solving. Model problem solving. Demonstrate how to approach and solve different types of problem. Practice and apply. Provide plenty of practice problems and encourage students to explain their reasoning. Information writing. All subjects areas are required to incorporate writing in some form. Teachers of all subjects are required to weave concepts of reading and writing into the content areas, social studies, science, and even maths. Incorporating writing across all subject areas is crucial for students' development of communication skills and deeper understanding of content. Here, how it can be integrated. Learning to write. Begin by teaching students the different types of writing relevant to each subject area. For example, in social studies, it might involve persuasive essays or historical narratives, while in science, it could be lab report or exploratory text. Steps of the writing process. Emphasize the writing process steps. Pre-writing, brainstorming ideas and planning the structure. Drafting, writing a rough draft based on the plan. Revising, reviewing and improving the content for clarity and coherence. Editing, checking for grammar, punctuation and spelling errors. Publishing, sharing the final piece which could involve presentation or submission. Specific skills development. Teach skills tailored to each type of content writing. In social studies, focus on organizing historical events or presenting arguments effectively. In science, emphasize clarity in explaining processes, data analysis, and drawing conclusions. In math, teach how to articulate problem solving steps or explain mathematical concepts clearly. Content area writing can be looked after by learning to write. Demonstrate how and when different types of writing are used. Teach and reinforce the steps of the writing process: pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. Instruct the specific skills necessary when writing content area pieces. Writing to learn. Content area writing also include opportunities for students to use their writing to help them better understand and content. When teachers use writing to learn strategies in their classroom, they are teaching students to use writing to think more deeply about the content. Writing to learn is an educational strategy where students use writing as a tool to enhance their understanding of content. In this approach, writing is not just a way to present information but also a method for exploring and proceeding ideas. When teachers incorporate writing to learn strategies, they encourage students to engage more deeply with the material. For example, reflective journals. Students write about what they have learned and how it connects to their own experiences. This reflection helps consolidate the understanding. Concept mapping. Writing out connections between concepts can clarify relationships and enhance comprehension. Explaining concepts. Students write explanations or summaries of what they have learned, which helps them to organize and articulate the understanding. By integrating these writing activities, teachers help students develop critical thinking skills and achieve a deeper grasp of the subject matter. Main types of writing are text. Narrative writing. It is broadly defined as story writing. It is created in a constructive format. Characteristics. Many based on common events from life. Familiarity makes prediction easier. Key vocabulary often used. Simple vocabulary. Cause and effect known. Concrete and real concepts. Pupil oriented. Dialogue makes text lesson concepts dense. Expository writing. This type of writing aims to inform, explain, or describe a topic to the reader. It is structured to present facts and details clearly and logically. It is defined as present reasons, explanation, or steps in a process. It is a text that informs, explains, describes, or defines the author's subject to the reader. Characteristics. Often about topics not known. Expository writing frequently covers unfamiliar subjects, requiring the writer to introduce and explain new concepts. New information make prediction harder. Since the content is often novel or complex, predicting outcomes or understanding implications might be challenging without prior knowledge. Key vocabulary often new. The text may include specialized or unfamiliar terminology that is crucial for understanding the topic. Cause and effect not know. The relationship between cause and effect might be explored and clarified within the writing. Abstract concepts. Expository texts often deal with theoretical or abstract ideas requiring clear and detailed explanation. Things are subject oriented. The focus is on the subject matter itself rather than on personal opinion or storytelling. Facts make text more concept dense. The use of factual information contributes to a dense and through exploration of the topic, enhancing comprehension and clarity. Main types of writing: persuasive writing, slightly similar to expository writing. Purpose: to convince the reader to accept a particular viewpoint or take a specific action. Structure: typically features a clear thesis, statement, or argument, supported by reason or evidence, though it may not rely heavily on factual information. Style: often includes emotional appeals and personal opinions and might use rhetorical strategies to persuade the audience. Descriptive writing. Purpose: to create a vivid picture in the reader's mind by detailing the characteristics of a person, place, object, or event. Style: rich in sensory details and figurative language, aiming to evoke a strong sense of experience or atmosphere. Usage: common in fiction and poetry, where the goal is to entertain or immerse the reader in a richly portrayed setting or scene. Transactional text. It takes the form of letters or emails and is part of written conversations. Transactional writing lesson starts with the purpose of communicating ideas and information between individuals. Types of transactional text: ordering or commanding. Used to instruct or direct someone to perform a specific action. For example, please submit your report by Friday. Requesting involves asking for something politely or formally. For instance, could you provide me with the latest sales today? Could you provide me the latest sales data? Next, promising entails committing to a specific action or outcome. An example would be, I promise to deliver the project by the agreed deadline. Threatening, used to indicate potential negative consequences if certain conditions are not met. For example, if the issue is not resolved, we will be forced to take legal action. Next, warning. Alert someone to potential dangers or problems. For instance, be careful with that machinery. It can cause serious injuries. Complaining. Express dissatisfaction or issues with a service, product, or situation. An example is, I am writing to complain about the defective item I received. Refusing. Decline a request or offer. For example, I am sorry, but I cannot accept your invitation to the meeting. Next, blaming. Accuses someone of causing a problem or issue. For instance, you are responsible for the missed deadline. Next, explanation. Provides clarification or reasoning behind an action or decision. For example, I am late because there was heavy traffic on my way. Each type serves a distinct purpose in communication and helps ensure that interactions are clear and effective. Reflective text. It is writing that is formal or informal about a subject matter after it has been presented in literature or other media, using emotions, memories, or thoughts. Reflective text involves contemplating and analyzing a subject matter after encountering it in literature or media. Here's a breakdown of its key aspect: formality. Reflective text can be either formal, for example, academic essay, or informal, example, personal journals. Next, reaction. It often represents a response to a particular work or experience, exploring personal reactions, feeling, and thoughts. Analytical practice. The writer engages in a thoughtful examination of the subject, evaluating its impact, meaning, and relevance. Insights. Through reflection, the writer gains deeper understanding and insights about the topic or their own responses to it. Mental processes. Reflective writing is a cognitive activity where the writer processes their experiences and emotions, connecting them with broader themes or ideas. Writing in math. Here's how I can help with writing in math. Solving problems. I can guide you through specific math problem, showing step-by-step solutions to help to understand the process and get the answer. Explaining mathematical ideas. You can break down mathematical concepts such as algebra, calculus or statistics into simpler terms to make them more comprehensible. Describe learning process. I can outline how different mathematical concepts are taught and learned, including effective strategies for mastering various topics. Writing in social studies. Writing is an important element of social studies. Writing as a fundamental intellectual activity. Development of critical thinking. Writing in social studies encourages students to analyze and interpret historical events, social phenomena, and cultural practices. It requires them to organize their thoughts, present arguments, and synthesize information, which fosters critical thinking. Deepen understanding. By writing essays, reports, or reflections, students engage deeply with historical content and social issues. This process helps them to not only memorize facts but also understand the underlying cause, effect, and significance of historical events. Improve communication skills. Effective writing in social studies helps students articulate their ideas clearly and persuasively. This skill is crucial for both academic success and real-world communication. Encourages research and analysis. Writing assignments often involve research, which helps students practice gathering, evaluating, and integrating information from various sources. The process enhances their ability to conduct thorough analysis and draw informed conclusions. Promotes engagement. Through writing, students can explore their personal interests and perspectives related to social studies topics. This engagement can lead to a more meaningful and connected learning experience. In summary, social studies not only aids in the retention and understanding of historical content, but also develops essential intellectual skills that are valuable across disciplines. Writing in science. Make science more hands-on. By integrating practical experiences and real-world applications into scientific writing, this approach transforms abstract theories into tangible, interactive learning experiences. It encourages readers to engage with scientific concepts through experiments, simulations, and hands-on activities, bridging the gap between theory and practice. Expands possibilities. This method broadens the scope of scientific elaboration by presenting ideas in a way that encourages innovative thinking and experimentation. It opens up new avenues for research and application, inspiring readers to explore uncharted territories and develop novel solutions to scientific challenges. Reflective text. The reflective aspect of this approach involves analyzing and discussing the impact of these hands-on methods and expanded possibilities. It encourages readers to consider how these practices affect their understanding of sciences and to reflect on the potential implications for future research and practical applications.